Why, howdy. Jacob here. And today, let's go ahead and break down the Minnesota Vikings Week 9 matchup against the Washington Commanders. So without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah. As I just got done saying, the Minnesota Vikings will be traveling to Landover to take on the Washington Commanders. And that team is, well, one of my favorite phrases here, but it's very true. They're about as consistent as unstirred oatmeal this year, because one week they look like a potential NFC juggernaut powerhouse, and then the next week they're getting their cheeks clapped in. So it's just like, I really don't know what to expect, because they have some pretty big wins, and they're kind of riding a little bit of a hot streak, so these are one of those, this is one of those teams that you cannot take lightly. Just because, well, you never know what to expect with them. I mean, they're a great team. They have some really solid pieces. It's just there's a lot of, well, let's just say there's a lot more off the field things that are, known for the Commanders than are on the field at this point. But again, though, putting all the distractions aside here, I mean, it is what it is. Not really much you can do until Dan Snyder is officially no longer, in ownership or whatever you want to say, which honestly may or may not be closer than we think at this point. But again, I'm not going to really mention anything about that because it's not official yet, and we all know how Daniel Snyder is. But kind of reeling it back to the team on the field here. Big pieces we're going to have to keep an eye on are, well, let's go ahead and start off with their offense. Taylor Heinicke, looking really good. Vikings fans, we know a little something about Taylor Heinicke. So, I love him. I mean, he was a good backup quarterback and all that stuff, but he just never really stuck around due to things. Let's just put it that way, including glass doors. But, yeah, that was interesting to say the least. But, again, it's nice to see him actually working well now. Like actually finding his stride and stuff like that, just because, well, honestly, I'm kind of surprised they didn't ride with Heinicke the whole year and they went out and got Carson Wentz, who, well, oh, man, that's another guy whose career is probably over with at this point. I mean, let's just be honest here. But it is what it is. I mean, had a couple really great seasons, but then just kind of fizzled out, so. But, of course, we can also not, rest on Scary Terry McLaurin. I don't think I need to say anything about Scary Terry that already hasn't been said. He is a dangerous guy. Curtis Samuel is another low-key, deep threat receiver for them. So, and they also have Brian Robinson, who, God bless him that he managed to come back from what was a very, very, very scary incident at the beginning of the year to be a pretty solid 1-2 punch with Antonio Gibson. So, yeah, I mean, they've got some weapons. And plus, too, how will Kirk Cousins handle being back in Washington since he left, Because believe it or not, he was actually pretty solid for Washington, with not a lot of great weapons outside of the tail end of Pierre Garçon and like Deshaun Jackson. I mean, they had some decent guys, but nothing like what he has now. And he was still pretty damn good, all things considered. But again, though, that whole thing between Shanahan, Snyder, Robert Griffin III, and Kirk Cousins, I can't say I blame the guy for wanting to get the hell out of there. Especially because, again, the Washington Commanders are an absolute tire fire from the top down. So, but hey, I mean, again, they're one of those teams you can't take lightly because they've already beaten the Bears. They beat the Packers. I mean, they've beaten a couple of big-name teams, and they're right there in the hunt for the NFC East, all things considered. Granted, the NFC East is just an absolute fucking powerhouse this year. But, so, who would have saw that one coming, you know what I mean? But hey, again, it's just a case of you can't take anyone lightly. So, yeah. Plus, I'll be really interested to see going up against their defense, how will our weapons look, as well as our newest weapon in T.J. Hawkinson. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We finally have a tight end that we can utilize as a threat, like a younger Kyle Rudolph, if you may say. Like I say, we haven't had really that tight end threat since Kyle Rudolph. And when Kirk Cousins was at his best, especially in 2019, guess who got a lot of catches? You know, Kyle Rudolph. So, it's always nice to have that big, reliable tight end where if all else fails, you can see him just, about 10 yards up the field, just dump it down to him and get, free 5, 6, 10 yards and just keep the chains moving. Plus, he could also be a really good breaker on the offense, too. If, let's say, they're double covering Jefferson, Thielen, Osborne, they're not quite there, or the defense is really honing in on those guys. Yeah, I mean, that's just another weapon to add to Kirk Cousins. So, and also how will our defense do against guys like Brian Robinson, Scary Terry, Antonio Gibson. I mean, all in all, this is going to be a pretty good matchup between two pretty decent teams. Granted, I will say, though, I think, in my opinion, the Vikings roster from top to bottom is a little better overall, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything either. Because, again, any given Sunday, just as the New England Patriots. Which, that game still surprised me how much they lost to the Bears by. But regardless, though, so... yeah, no, I mean, that'll pretty much conclude this video. Because, again, there's just a lot to digest when it comes to talking about Washington and Washington football in general. And a lot of it has nothing to do with the guys that are even on the field. So, and who knows, again, with that whole Daniel Snyder potentially, selling or at least getting rid of a majority or a minority stake of the team. Who knows? I mean, hopefully they're just, pulling the plug and all that stuff. But again, I will believe it when it actually happens. Because let's be honest here, there's just been so much controversy there. And it would just be nice to have a fresh start, all things considered. Just because Washington does have a good history. They do have a lot of really solid players, Hall of Famers. I mean, hell, our quarterback started his career in D.C., so whatever you want to say there. But, again, just going to be another interesting matchup here on the road to where we want to be here, because at the end of this weekend, depending on what happens here, we could be anywhere from 3.5 to almost 4 games up in the NFC North with all those tiebreakers, so... it'll be interesting to see come, the Jets week or come December. Do I dare say we could wrap up the North? Who knows? But like I say, the last big thing there is let's just stay healthy, please. Just stay healthy and move forward. Because again, this team still has a lot more winning to do. This team still has to learn how to compete in every single phase. Because let's be honest here. Kevin O'Connell has said this. Ed Donatel has said this. Cousins has said this. Countless players have said this. They're still not at 100%. And we are currently 6-1. 6-1. Finding ways to win these dirty, grimy games that even have a lot of the media going, wait, what? What do we think here? Are they good? Are they bad? This, that, or the other thing? And hey, look, all we can do is beat the teams we can beat. I can't help it if, they're injured. I can't help if their star quarterback is out or if we're playing their 4th string, 5th string, whatever, All we can do is play the opponents in front of us. So, but yeah, that'll basically conclude this video. So, until we meet again, this is Jacob. Have a good day.